Yes, over to you, Dr. Vikas.
We all know that today's speaker is Shubham Singh, and it's my pleasure to invite him, my pleasure to introduce him. So I welcome Mr. Shubham Singh, an Indic researcher and a dedicated revivalist of Bharatiya Gyan. His mission is to revive, re-estimate, realize ancient knowledge systems of Bharat, presenting them in a logical, scientific, and accessible form, especially for today's youth. By harmoniously blending Sanatan wisdom with modern technology, he aims to raise collective consciousness and reposition Bharat as a global epicenter of wisdom. A believer in the synergy of Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga, the union of Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. Mr. Singh strongly advocates a multidisciplinary, interconnected Sanatana approach rather than the reductionist framework. He emphasizes yogic wisdom, yogic dinacharya, and traditional pedagogy as tools for conscious living and unlocking human potential. Academically, he holds a B in electronics and communication, an MTech in radar and communication from IIT, and has served as JRF at IIT Roorkee, ISRO. He further pursued MA in Sanatana Gyan Parampara from Vishnu IKS and MA in Ashtanga Yoga from Mahasi University, merging scientific rigor with Indic depth. His professional journey includes project work at IIT Roorkee and ISRO on satellite interferometry based landslide early warning system. Lecturer, Government Political College, Electronics and Communication Subject. Yoga General Secretary between 2023 to 24 in IIT Roorkee. Research with Hood University on integrating Jnana in educational curriculum. Contribution at Vidya Kshetra Curriculum, Bangalore. Participation in Auroville Youth Camp, Ministry of Culture. On-ground SHG experience with Code and Bio, Chinmaya Mission. He has been invited as a guest speaker for FDP International Yoga Day 2025 at Galgotias University and Ayurveda Viewers in Ayurveda Viewers 2025 at Government Ayurveda College and Hospital. He has taught 300 plus participants to offline and online yogic sessions and conducted several free camps in colleges and schools. Today, as a resource person, Mr. Shubham Singh brings a rare blend of ancient Indic insights, scientific training, technological expertise, and lived yogi. We are delighted to have him with us. I welcome Shubhamji, and I also request him to start.
Yeah. Thank you, Vikasji. Just can I rejoin it from another mobile if we have a time, or should we start? Because I think video issue should not be there because presentation will not be proper. Can you see the slides? Can you confirm me how slides are looking?
Yes. Slide is very much visible. Shubhamji.
Yeah, slides are visible. You can just click on the hide button.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slides are perfectly visible.
Okay, then fine. So I would like to start the session with the invocation. Hope everyone is ready. Thank you everyone for joining. Om Durga Durga Shamani Durga Pad Vinivarni Durga Machede Durga Sadhani Durga Nashani Durga Todvarni Durga Nihantri Durga Mapaha Durgam Gyanada Durga Daitya Davanala Durgama Durgama Loka Durgamatma Surupini Durga Margapada Durgam Vidya Durgamashrita Durgam Gyana Samsthana Durgam Dhyana Bhashani Durga Moha Durga Maga Durga Matha Surupini Durga Masur Samhantri Durga Mayudha Dharani Durgamangi Durgamata Durgamya Durgameshwari Durga Bhima Durga Bhama Durga Bha Durga Dharini Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejashvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste everyone. Namaste to all the faculties, researchers, seekers who have joined today. I am Shubham Singh. Thank you, Vikasji, for introducing. So here, from the first poster, I have put very intricately and intentionally, as the topic suggests, the digital transformation of Ayurveda bridging tradition and technology. This poster itself showing the immortal wisdom of ancient Bharat Sanatan cosmology, which is depicting Samudra Manthan, from where the Amritam has been immersed in the hands of Bhagwan Dhanvantari, who is a form of Bhagwan Vishnu. And Bhagwan Dhanvantari is known as originator of Ayurveda. And we can't forget the inception of this Ayurveda, because it is there or in existence since the inception of whole Srishti, since the inception of this Srishti. And there is a direct connection of Ayurveda with Surya Dev, the sun, a celestial source of energy, because whenever we talk about Ayurveda, we know the significance of Bhagwan Dhanvantari, but we forget Ashwini Kumar. Ashwini Kumar are the twins, we can say, or son of Bhagwan Surya, who were known as Dev Vaidya or Dev Chikitsak. They were the celestial Vaidya of Devtas. Through Ashwini Kumar, this wisdom of Ayurveda has been transmitted to the whole humanity with the works of rishis like Acharya Shushruta, Acharya Charak, Acharya Vagbhat, in the form of Charak Samhita, Shushruta Samhita, and Ashtang Hridayam. And still at present as well, we are seeing so much Ayurveda Acharya. So this age-old wisdom has been transmitting from Bhagwan Surya itself. Because of the connection, it is being said that through the rays of Surya, they transmit the Ashwini Kumar to the water, and water has been percolated, or it is being evaporated in the form of clouds, and then again it has been transmitted to the rivers and oceans. Similarly, this wisdom of Ayurveda has been transmitted through the rays of sun, as manifested in the form of sun rays, we can say. So let's move with this thought. You can see the hands of Bhagwan Dhanvantari in the first poster. He is holding the conch. Again, there is a very intricate science behind the conch, the kind of acute and chronic diseases that can be cured with the help of conch. There are different techniques of treating diseases with the help of conch, which we also call Sangh. So he's holding Sangh in one hand, and in another hand he is holding Amritam, which was the main cause of war between Asuras and Dev, to find the elixir, Amritam. The purpose of Amritam is to achieve immortality. That was the main goal. We all are striving to achieve a good health. Health means Ayush, that we will deal with in the coming slides. Ayush is which help us to gain mental, physical, emotional, intellectual, as well as spiritual well-being. So that Amritam is depiction of immortality. Then in the next hand, he is holding the scriptures, in which the wisdom of Ayurveda is encoded, and in the last hand, he is holding the herbs. So with this, he is propagating the wisdom of Ayurveda through whole humanity. So we can't forget Maharshi Patanjali before starting. Yogen chittasya padena vacham malam sarirasya cha vaidyaken yopa karuttam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjali ranatoshmi. Maharshi Patanjali is known for giving Ayurveda for the sanctity, purity of our body, Yoga for the purity of mind, and Vyakaran for the purity of our speech. Maharshi Patanjali ji ne, one more thing, I can use the mix of language, Hindi and English, if there is no issue in the audience with these listeners. Can I?
Yes, Shubham ji, you can use a mix. I would just request that whenever you share anything in Hindi, If you can provide an English summary, translation, or
Okay, fine. So,
paraphrasing, that will help.
okay. So Maharishi Patanjali, as I said that he is responsible for giving Ayurveda, yoga, as well as grammar. Maharishi Patanjali ji, also known as the systematizer of whole concept of yoga. I am talking about yoga because yoga and Ayurveda are complementary. There cannot be a vision of Ayurveda without yoga. There cannot be a vision of yoga without Ayurveda. So both are intricately connected and designed in a way by our ancient sages, rishis, seers, who have developed it in a very aesthetically, in a very encoded form, so that we can collectively practice it and propagate it to live a healthy and pleasant life. So before moving, just a quick reminder for all of you. This you can say a paperclip I have put intentionally, although it is showing a little bit negative connotation, but it is not a negative. It is just an awareness that we can see that because of the use of mobile, we are seeing so much problems are coming, especially in the cervical region of the body. So what is the cure of this? To correct our posture. As I have a background of yoga, so I understand the value of posture, significance of posture, what should be the correct, and why our health of the spine is important. In yogic Vangmaya, in yogic darshan, or in yogic practices, it has been very well popularized that youthfulness of any person can be detected through the flexibility of the spine. That means if your spinal column is flexible, then that person possesses a youthfulness. So that means so much significance of the spine is there in yoga. That's why we need to keep our posture correct. Otherwise, the problem, which is you can see dropping head syndrome, can occur at any circumstances to anyone. As we see, when we use mobile, when we read anything, we just drop our head, especially in a cervical region. Cervical region is a region just below where your spinal column and where your nervous system and spinal column meet. So that get bent, and that put extra load whenever we just bend it forward. Just a 1 degree put an extra amount of load in your spinal column. So always be careful while seeing mobile. So what can be the correct posture? The correct posture should always be just wherever you are sitting, just try to carefully understand it and follow it if possible. I hope you all listening it properly. So the correct posture is that when your spinal column and head and your neck and head should be in one line. That means it should be in one line. Your shoulder should be just rotated backward. There should not be collapsing in your shoulder. It should be rotated backward, and your spinal column, neck, and head should be in one line. This makes your posture correct, and there will not be any extra load on your cervical, and this type of problems will not occur. What happens physiologically? What happens when we sit by collapsing our shoulder? It puts extra pressure on our stomach muscles, abdominal muscles. When abdominal muscles get pressurized or loaded with upper body pressure, so there will not be a proper transmission of oxygen into your cells. Okay, when there will not be a proper oxygen in your cell, then ATP formation, energy formation will not be there, and you will always feel lethargic or sluggish, and you will not feel any. That means tamasic pravritti will definitely increase, sattvic and rasic will get overcome. So that's why I put it. So while listening to this session, please try to maintain your posture correct. Let's make it a little bit practical as well. This session should be more beneficial for us. I always try to keep my session illustrative. A two-way communication should always be there. And I always try to propagate at least one lifestyle mantra, so that after completion of this lesson, the greatest takeaway that you can take it from this session is one learning from it, which you can follow, which you can make it a ritual in your lifestyle. So this is about vagus nerve. What is vagus nerve? Vagus nerve is a part of whole nerve system in our body. There are millions of nerves in our body. So this is the longest nerve of ANS. ANS is autonomic nervous system, which has two parts, parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. I don't want to go more technical into it because I am thinking that every kind of person are listening me from different walks of life, different backgrounds. You can just simply understand it by, when I say parasympathetic nervous system, it is that part of your nervous system which helps you to calm down, to help you in a state of calm, in a state of more focused and in a state of oneness. That is done by PNS, which is parasympathetic nervous system. Again, it is a part of autonomic nervous system. And second part is sympathetic nervous system, which helps you to fight and flight mode, to activate your fight and flight mode. Whenever you see a lion or just wild animal, anything, wherever you are going for jungle safari, anything, so you will just quickly get your SNS will quickly get activated. That is sympathetic nervous system, which is very important at that moment of time for you to save your life. Okay, but whenever you are doing some focused activity, for example, studying or doing dhyan, then your parasympathetic nervous system should be activated. So vagus nerve is a part of parasympathetic nervous system, and parasympathetic nervous system help you to calm, to activate your to maintain your involuntary functions like your heartbeats, your body temperature, your blood circulation. This all are regulated by parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, so why I'm talking about vagus nerve is because we need to understand the concept of the science behind vagus nerve, the significance and importance of vagus nerve. When we activate through the methodology our vagus nerve, then we can be in a very focused state, in a very restful, alert state. But the question arises how we can stimulate it. In medical sciences, there are so many techniques which has been done, which doctors are doing, like they send electrical impulses to stimulate the vagus nerve. We all have electrical impulses. We know that in our brains, that is known as EEG, electroencephalogram. Through EEG, we just track it. So that electrical impulses has been sent to our brain just to activate vagus nerve so that we can calm stressed mind, anxious mind. When person get anxious, so how you can just bring back into normal position just by activating vagus nerve. So this we are doing, and this a type of vagus nerve stimulation is used to in conditions like epilepsy, depression, autoimmune and inflammatory disorder. But this is a with the use of devices we are doing it, but we forgetting that there is an internal device that we have, and with the help of yogic methodology, with the help of ancient wisdom of Sanatan cosmology, we can do it manually, we can do it by our own. How? Just by activities like pranayam. And in pranayam, the most related pranayam which is related to vagus nerve is Bhramari pranayam. Bhramari, I hope many have heard about it, someone have practiced, and maybe someone has not heard about it, but we can do it also. Then second is dhyan. Dhyan is a restful alert state. As I said, it is similarly like restful alert state. Let me tell you it with an example. It is like a bow and arrow. We all know about it. So if arrow is lying just on a floor and you are holding bow in one hand, but at any point of time, when and where it is needed, you can just lift the bow, lift the arrow and put it on the bow and just hit the target. So that bow is in alert, restful alert state, and dhyan help us to achieve that restful alert state. Similarly, like that bow, like that arrow, dhyan is not just going in a disconnected way. Dhyan is not just like you are just disconnecting with the outer world, you are not doing anything, you are just sleeping. Not like that. You should be in a restful alert state. So with the dhyan also we can stimulate our vagus nerve, and also some activities like cold shower help us to activate, and massage also help us to activate. Massage in this part of the body help us to activate. How Brahmari Pranayam? Brahmari Pranayam help us. How we get from Brahmari Pranayam? Brahmari Pranayam produce nitric oxide in our body. That nitric oxide dilates lungs and veins. And if after dilation there will be more proper, flow of blood, and through that blood more oxygen will follow, and this will lower our BP, blood pressure. There will be proper healthy cardiac function in your body, and through that we can achieve restful alert state just by stimulating vagus nerve. And we can do a 2 round of Brahmari Pranayam. If everyone is ready, just you have to sit in your place wherever you are sitting, bed, chair, whatever. Just make your posture correct. Your spine, neck and head should be in line. Close your eyes. What we have to do, we need to just do a humming sound from your mouth. Keep your mouth closed. Okay. And if needed, we can have a mudra as well. Just close your eyes like that. Close your eyes like this. Put your forefinger on forehead, rest finger on your eyes. And with the thumb, close your ears. Just take a deep breath. And we'll do humming sound just by keeping our mouth closed. Take a deep breath. One more round. Take a deep breath. One last round. Deep inhale. Okay, thank you. Release. I make you perform this activity because I know whatever I am saying you may forget, but how I am making you feel, you will never forget. So you can practice this Brahmari Pranayam. This can be the greatest takeaway from this session. How you can practice and when you can practice, whenever you are doing any task or started doing any task, before beginning, just to, like we charge our mobile before using our mobile, you can charge up yourself with the Brahmari Pranayam, and it will help you to achieve alpha state. That is the state of the brain. Our brain waves are divided into alpha, beta, gamma, delta. So alpha state is the most restful state. Just by 1 round of Brahmari Pranayam, you can activate your brain into alpha state. That alpha state is the most focused state. And human being need focus at every task to do it, to perform it efficiently. So before beginning of any task, make it a ritual, make it a habit. Start it with Brahmari Pranayam. You can have 5 rounds, 11 rounds, at least 5 is compulsory. Okay. So let's come to the core part of our discussion. See, before proceeding, I would like to make it clear that Ayurveda in itself is a vast paradigm in which we can't touch everything in 60 minutes of time. But I would like to give a top view of Ayurveda as well as the current innovation that is happening, how we can fuse it, and what kind of developments are happening in present time. Till now, what has been done, and till now, what scientists or doctors or Ayurveda charyas have done it around this direction. So it is like a top view, eagle eye view. So let's go deep into it. Ayurveda is a compound of Ayush and Ved. Ayush means life or longevity. It is Ved. Ved means to know. It is part of Ved. We can say it is as we know, there are 4 Ved: Rig Ved to Athar Ved, Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Athar Ved, and Sam Ved. But 5th one we can say that Ayurveda. Or it is a Upved of Rig Ved, but it is termed as Ved. So anything the concept behind Ayurveda is to get the Ayush, life or longevity. When we say Ayush, we mean that body, mind, your internal senses, and your internal instruments, plus finally your Atma, that is a soul, which is resting on this body. So, Ayu, when we say that we need a holistic healing process of your body, mind, sense, internal instrument, and Atma. Internal instrument, when I say, it means your manas, that means your mind, your indriya, that is already covered, indriya in Gyanindriya and Karmendriya as well, then your buddhi, intellect, then your chit. This all are covered under Ayush. That's why Ayurveda is also termed as is also defined with the sutra Ayusho Veda Ayurveda. Knowledge of life, the science of life, and longevity. This all comes under the Ayurveda. These are the two pictures that I have put. This belongs to the temples of Bhagwan Dhanvantari. One is in Tamil Nadu and another one is in Kerala. These are very ancient temples and have very strong significance. People with chronic diseases visit these temples and get healed. If time permits, you all can also try. Thank you. So let's move. So Ayurvedic paradigm, it is concept of holistic approach. The three fundamental principles on which Ayurveda works, whether in all living entities, not only on humans, but also on animals, also on trees. These three fundamental energy, which are very pertinent principles of Ayurveda, in which Ayurveda is standing, that is also termed as dosh, that is vat, pitta, and kapha. We all are made up of all these three, but one is dominant in each one of us. So we all have prakriti according to the our dosh, which one is dominant, and that prakriti is since our birth to our lifetime. This is part of our life which cannot be changed, which is fixed from your birth. And what is vat, pitta, and kapha? Vat is, you can make it, you can understand it, any process or any energy. We talk about energy in Ayurveda. Everywhere there is a concept of energy. Whether we talk about Panchkosh, whether we talk about Trigun, Tridosh, whether or whatever is there, the energy is important, whether it is pranic energy. So what is energy which is responsible for movement in your body? Any kind of movement, atomic level movement, whether it is blood circulation, whether it is excretion. This all movements which is happening in your body is because of what? But there are different psychological and physiological processes which impact what, like fear, sorrow, overthinking. This kind of activities impact or diminish the importance or diminish the Vat energy in our body. And whenever there is imbalance either in Vat, Pitta or Kapha, there will be occurrence of disease. This is the principle behind Ayurveda. Second is Pitta, which is responsible for any type of transformation which is happening in your body, like metabolism, like digestion. Whatever you are eating is converting into Sapta Dhatu and finally digesting and assimilation. Whatever is happening is because of Pitta. But anger, jealousy, this kind of psychological process, and this I am putting or trying to propagate because I'm trying to tell you that the psychological or mental level process is also affecting your physical level. That means in Ayurveda, mind and body is not disconnected. They are very much intricately connected and one is affecting another. The thought wave that is occurring in your manas and which is getting analyzed with your buddhi is impacting your body. How? The thought waves which is created, which is generated, is kind of motivating hormonal changes in your body. That hormonal changes is in turn creating sensation, in your body, and that sensation enabling, compelling you to act. So one thought which has been germinated in your mind, in your chitta, is helping you to act as well. But when you do this kind of activities, when like anger, jealousy, so this impacts pitta. Then finally kapha, which is responsible for structure and stability of the body, like your immunity system is governed by kapha. But overjoy and excitement impacts kapha. That's why it has been said in yoga that samatvam yoga uchyate. Being balanced, evenness of even-minded person who is not affected by duality. Like sometimes comes you face loss, sometimes you face gain, sometimes you face victory, sometimes you face defeat, sometimes you face praise, sometimes you face insult. So these all are dualities which we all face in life. But if we are getting overjoyed, overexcited in success, then in turn we are impacting the part of our body like kapha. So if any of this is get imbalanced, there will be occurrence of, this is the first sign of occurrence of disease in the body. So as you can see this honeybee structure, from this slide I tried to explain the whole paradigm of Ayurveda. Trigun, this is the see how intricately our rishis have designed the framework, vast framework, to understand the whole universe. Just Ayurveda, you can understand whole universe. How? Through Trigun. Trigun means we all have, all the physical entities, all the living entities in this universe have categorized under 3 gun. That is Rajas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. See the depth of understanding, which can only be possible after having the purest of mind, purest of Chitta Bhumi, purest of Urja in the body, which occurs through the sadhana, which occurs through the tapascharya. When they achieve that mentality, then only they will be able to see the cosmos, see the cosmos through the lens of their antarman. So that's how they come into the conclusion to segregate everything into the principles which we are going to delve into. So first one is Trigun, as you can see, first hexagon, which says that every living entity in this universe can be categorized into 3 gun. They have either sattva gun, or rajas and tamas, or the combination of it. Then Tridukh, they have categorized the sufferings of human beings also. Tridukh or Tapatraya also we say it. Tridukha means there are 3 kinds of sufferings we all face. Definitely there are many kinds of sufferings, but they have categorized into 3 bullet points. First one is Adi Bhautik. Second one is Adhyatmik, and third one is Adi Daivik. When we say Adi Bhautik, that means all kinds of suffering that you face because of external living entity. That means because of your family relations, because of your relationship, because of your official burnouts, whatever it is which is happening due to external living beings, that is Adi Bhautik. Then comes Adhyatmik, the sufferings that you face because of your own body, that like fever, cold, cough, any pain. So because of, you can say because of imbalance in Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So because of your own body, the sufferings can be categorized as Adi Bhautik. Then Adhyatmik, sorry. Then last one is Adi Daivik. This is a suffering because of cosmic connection, you can say, like in which you don't have any control, like earthquake, like floods. This kind of natural calamities can be considered under it. So they have categorized sufferings into this. See the frameworks. Then comes Panchatattva. Panchatattva is, as we say that Yat Pinde Tad Brahmande, as is the microcosm, so is the macrocosm. Jaisa ye pind hai, the component, the ingredients that is in our body, our universe also has same ingredients. That is Panchatattva. Agni, Vayu, Akash, Prithvi and Jal. We all are made up of these 5 constituent materials, these 5 major elements. which has been termed as Panch Tattva. Yeah, that's why microcosm and macrocosm, there is a connection. That's why in yoga we say that final aim of yoga is to achieve unity, or to unite your individual consciousness with the universal consciousness, to unite your individual intellect with cosmic intellect. So that is possible, but first we need to understand the main lessons behind yoga, that is the buddhi, the chitta suddhi, that need to be attained first. Then only we will be able to see it with the lens of oneness, and we understand that everything is connected. Then comes Tridosh, as we have talked. And one more thing now, as I have explained about Panchatattva, so we need to understand that Vat, as I said, everything is made up of Panchatattva. So Vat, the energy which is in our body responsible for movement, is made up of two Tattva, that is Akash Tattva and Vayu Tattva. Akash Tattva ether, Vayu Tattva is air. Pitta is made up of Agni Tattva and Jal Tattva, fire and water, and Kapha is made up of Jal Tattva and Prithvi Tattva, that is water and earth. So this is how Panch Tattva is responsible. This all are interconnected, that's why I have put it in the same slide. Then comes Sapt Dhatu. Whatever we are eating is converting into the Sapt Dhatu. Okay, Sapt Dhatu means 7 dhatus. That is Ras. First, whatever we eat, that is converted into Ras. From Ras, it after processing, assimilation, digestion, it is converting into Rakt, that is blood. Ras is plasma. Ras Rakt, then mass, that means muscles. Then Med, that is fat. Then comes Asthi. It is always said that in yoga we do Sukshma Vyayam. That means your muscle, if your muscle will be strong, then only your bones will be healthy. Your bones will not get affected by the sudden jerk, because your muscle can can overcome that jerk. So muscle should always be healthy, flexible. So from muscles, from fat, we can say fat is responsible for lubrication. Then comes the bone. From bone, Asthi, bone means Asthi. Then we can say bone marrow. Then final product which is converted is Sukra, that is semen. Then there is 8th dhatu as well. After semen, the 8th dhatu is Ojas, which is responsible for Tej in your Vani, Tej in your Kaya. That is responsible. That is possible only when we keep balance stable our 7 dhatus. Then it is finally converted into Ojas. So next is Shad Ras. Whatever we eat are converted to 6 Ras. There are 6 Ras. They have categorized, the ancient rishis have categorized that our whatever food element that we intake, they have 6 kinds of taste, like Tikht, Katu, Amla, like this they have categorized it. Then comes Panchkosh. Panchkosh is a concept that we think that our body is just a physical, this gross entity that we are seeing it from our naked eyes. No, it is not. Our body is made up of 5 sheets, 5 layers. Whenever we go from gross to subtle, and that can only be possible after getting that drishti through the sadhana, then only we will able to see beyond our vision. So the rishis who have done so much tapas, they have found out that this body is made up of 5 sheets. First one is Annamay Kosh. Second one is Pranamay Kosh. Annamay Kosh is what we eat is getting nourished and finally converting into Annamay Kosh. Then comes Pranamay Kosh. Then Pranamaya means your pranic urja that is inside your body, which is responsible for every activities, whether you are whatever you are thinking, whatever you are performing, this all are getting regulated by pranic urja, that is regulated by Pranamaya Kosh. Then Pranamaya to Manomaya, the mental modifications that is coming, chitta vrittiya that is coming in your body, in our mind. This is for that Manomay kosh is responsible. Then comes Vigyanmay, the buddhi that you apply in anything, for analyzing anything, for reasoning anything. See, there are mental waves which can emerge. Which can compel you to crave for anything. You can ask car today and you can ask helicopter tomorrow. But that buddhi helps you, intellect helps you to distinguish between your need and want. It helps you to reason, it helps you to analyze. So there comes the role of Vigyanmay Kosh. And finally, the bliss body, that is Anandamay Kosh, which is the final layer, comes under the realm of Panchakosh. That is Anandamay Kosh, bliss, which is the final aim. And beyond all this 5 sheets lies you, that is Atma. So this all are connected. How? When your Panch Tattva is proper, your Trigun, your Tridosh, your Triduk, your Saptadhatu, your Shadras, your Panchkos. These all are getting, the unit behind this is Panch Tattva. For example, when your Tridosh is imbalanced, it imbalances your Saptadhatu also. Your Saptadhatu, whatever you are eating, getting converted into poison because your Tridosh is imbalanced. So next comes, I think one slide I missed. This is one reminder I have put, how your mind and your breathing pattern are interconnected. This is a shlok from Hatyo Pradipika, a yogic granth, which says that Chale vate chalam chittam nishchale nischalam bhavet yogi sthadutvam apnoti tato vayum nirodhayet. When your breath wanders, your chit also wanders. That means when your breathing pattern is not stable, is very shallow, 99% of the people, because of their lifestyle, do a shallow breathing. So when we do shallow breathing, that means it is not stable. We are just missing to extract the best out of our potential just by doing shallow breathing. When we convert it to deep breathing, so it directly impacts our chit, because our chit and breathing pattern are directly connected. If you breathe shallow, for example, any anxious people you see, any person who is just tensed because of any kind of reason, for example, exams, then you can see that he is breathing very fast. That fast breathing is a reflection of shallow breathing. If he is breathing fast, he or she is breathing fast, that means that person can't be focused because chit is not stable. As I said, chit and breathing pattern are directly connected. So we can say deep breathing is directly proportional to balanced, calm and cheerful state of mind. If you need balanced mind, cheerful mind, a pleasant personality, then you have to focus on your breathing pattern. Who is healthy? A very profound definition is given by Maharishi Sushruta. A person who is healthy when state of equilibrium of Tridosh. When a person is at a state of equilibrium of Tridosh, as I said, Tridosh is Vata, Pitta, Kapha. This should be sum. This should be balanced. Should have balanced Agni. That is Jaఠragni. We all have Jaఠragni, which is responsible for digestion of food. Then have balanced Saptadhatu. Again, we have discussed Saptadhatu, Ras, Rakta, Mas, Med, Majja, Asti, Majja, and Sukra. Then finally, waste products are excreted well. That means a person should have a smooth excretion. This is also has been taken care while defining the healthy person. Then finally, person should have sense organs, mind, and soul in a state of bliss. His sense organs, his mind, and finally soul should be in a state of bliss. This is the complete definition of healthy person, which is unlike WHO, which is an organ of UN. WHO defines health as a state of disease-free and a person who is mentally, physically, and socially active. So only disease-free doesn't make you healthy. Only just by looking anyone, you can't decide whether a person is healthy or not. Today it has become trend among youth that person who is going to gym, has a bulky body, can be termed as healthy. But we are also seeing cases of cardiac arrest during that process. So a bulky body is not a reflection of healthy person. This all category should be kept in mind while defining a healthy person. This is a well balanced definition of health that I have encountered. So Ayurveda deals with subatomic to cosmic, microcosm to macrocosm, from very subtle, from very gross to subtler dimension of our, not only our body but whole universe. As I said, Trigun, Tridosh, and Saptadhatu are impacting each other. If person is very if a person is having a sattva propensity, that means he is more towards purity, because sattva is reflection of purity, sattva is reflection of oneness, sattva is reflection of calmness. A person who is not a short temper, who doesn't get distracted or disconnected from himself or herself. So that oneness, that Suddhi in Chit, that Indri Bal, that Adhyatmik Urja, which can be attained through the sadhana, that helps you to attain the level of Sattva. Then Rajas, which is a reflection of activity. Then Tamas, which is a reflection of sluggishness. Asuric forces are termed as Tamasic. The Asurs who were there in the ancient times, in present time as well. So we can categorize them in Tamas. If person having so much Tamas propensity, then they can be termed as Asuric. And if you move towards Sattva, then you can move towards Devatva. So these are the 7 Saptadhatus that I tried to reflect here: plasma, then blood, then muscles, then fat, then bone, from bone marrow, then after semen, after bone marrow, semen. So let's come to the core part of Ayurveda. Ayurveda talks about everything, but what we should imbibe, as I said, there are whole cosmos under the Ayurveda. We can't deal everything, but what we can imbibe in our lifestyle, so that we can be healthy, not only physically but also mentally, intellectually, as well as spiritually. So Ayurveda talks about mitahar. Mitahar means optimum diet should be there. That means whatever you eat, your half of the stomach should be filled with food items. Then rest half, that means 1/4 should be filled with water, and last 1/4 should be kept empty. That means Akash Tattva should be there, air should be there. So always person who is filling or eating with the principles of mitahar, that he or she will not eat after half filling his or her stomach. So that is a concept of mitahar. Whatever you are eating, first make it a principle, make it your rule, that you will make it half. Okay. Then comes dincharya. As per the duration of daytime and night time, there is a proper way of eating. Then comes the ritucharya. Ritucharya, as per the seasons also, there is a principles behind eating. Okay, ritucharya means there are shad ritu in as per our climatic zone. That is Varsha ritu, Grishma ritu, Sarad ritu, Hemant ritu, then Shishir ritu. So there are 6 ritus. According to the ritus, we need our eating habits. We accordingly set our eating habits. Then if we are following the Ayurvedic principles. And finally, these all are a reflection of your ahar, vihar, achar, vichar, which is cumulatively making vyavhar. Ahar means what kind of food you are eating. That is also important. Mitahar is a concept, how much you eat. But ahar means what should you eat. Then vihar, what kind of recreational activity you are doing to please your mind, to please your senses. That is also very pertinent part of your lifestyle, of your healthy body and mind. Achar, kind of acharan that you are doing, kind of how you are conducting yourself. Then vichar, the kind of thoughts. We can get rid of majority of the problems if we keep proper or careful monitoring of thoughts, because that thought, as I said, creates hormonal changes in your body. That thought, in turn, that hormonal change in your body create sensation, and that sensation compel you to act. So whenever a thought which is, as said by Swami Vivekananda, any thought, any act which makes you weak, you should get rid of it. Okay, so we should always focus on thoughts. If some negative thought is coming, then we should, at that moment itself, we should cut it out. We should get disconnected ourselves. Then we can save ourselves from majority of the problems. Believe me, this is possible. So this ahar, vihar, achar, vichar together makes your vyavhar. As said, we are talking about everything about health. So this is a very beautiful shlok from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, shlok 17. Yog becomes a liberator from all sorrow for one who is regulated in their habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work. It refers to maintaining a fine line between excess and scarcity in all aspects of life. So, for example, if person having a late night sleeping habit, then this is in turn impacting or imbalancing that person's dosh, tridosh. Like late night sleep elevate your kapha dosh. It weakens your sapta dhatu. But timely sleep helps or balance your sapta dhatu, balance your jatragni, increases your indri bal, increases your yogic bal, increases your utsah. So this is the concept which has been significantly put it in Srimad Bhagavad Gita as well. As per Ishavasya Upanishad, one should wish to live 100 years on this earth just by doing a karma. But keep one thing in mind, we should not cling to the result of the karma. We should not be extremely attached with the karma as well as result. So, highlighting this and stand on this point of thought, I am just putting who can be a true karma yogi. We hear many types of things that you should follow, or you should just focus on your karma, don't think about the result. But how can it be possible? It can be possible if we understand this principle, the subtlety behind this principle of a karma yogi. That person who is performing his action with arpan buddhi. That means if you are ready to surrender your action to the God, if you are doing or performing your action by treating it as archana of Bhagwan, that means you are doing it with arpan buddhi. And that means your karma should be with arpan buddhi and accept the result with prasad buddhi. Whenever we go to temple, we don't demand what kind of prasad we need. We just accept what it is given to us. So if these principles we inculcate in our life, then we can say that we are moving towards true karma yogi. That attitude is of true karma yogi. In current times, there are so many challenges which Ayurveda, which our whole Sanatan cosmology is facing in every area we are facing, and that is, first one is inferiority complex. I must say, we all are struggling with this. But let's be specific. As today we are talking about Ayurveda. As we hear that Ayurveda has been termed as pseudoscience, we have Ashtanga Yoga, in which pranayam is a part of it. Ashtanga Yoga has yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So if we say pranayam, so sometimes we hear that from the western side of our planet, that means western thinkers, they termed it as cardiac coherence breathing, sometimes box breathing, sometimes Wim Hof method. Then there is one concept of Shirodhara in Ayurveda. They termed it as mindful mind cleanse. Yog Nidra, which is again a part of yoga, which has been converted into new terminology like non-sleep, depressed, and there are so many. Because of scarcity of time, I have put it very less. So this kind of challenges are there. We need to be so much vigilant. We need to be so much aware. First, we have taken a birth in this land, which is giver of so much to the whole humanity, whether it is spirituality, whether it is science, whether it is yoga. But problem is we are not even aware of it. So we have to go to the original Granth. We have to seek the real source of wisdom. Then only we will understand the gravity of knowledge, gravity of wisdom that we possess. As said by Sri Aurobindo, all life is yoga. This is just a reminder which I have put. Yoga is the science, the process, the effort and action by which man attempts to pass out the limits of his ordinary mental consciousness into a greater spiritual consciousness. We are evolving soul. We all are at different conscious plane. No one is wrong, no one is right, but we are evolving. But our aim should be to reach a stage where we can convert our ordinary mental consciousness into greater spiritual consciousness. And through the methodology like yoga and through the principles of Ayurveda, we can help us to attain that, lead our life. This is a good news that National Medical Commission has also opted that Maharishi Charak Sapath, doctors while taking oath, they follow Hippocratic Sapath, Hippocratic oath, which is a Greek healer, but now it has been changed by NMC. Now we take Maharishi Charak Sapath. Who was Maharishi Charak? Maharishi Charak was the greatest Rishi sage, has done so much in the field of Ayurveda, given the information about Ayurveda, herbs, medicines, which we are using till now. But behind this, he has given ethical principles behind every Ayurvedacharya or Ved that they should follow, which has been categorized under Maharishi Charak Sapath or Charak Sapath, you can say that. What it talks, just one shlok from it. I'm just reading the English part as well only. The merits and demerits of weapons, that means aujar, and scriptures, means granth, and water, jal, depends upon their user. Means it depends upon the intellect of the user, how that person is using weapon, scripture, and water. And similarly, physician should purify. And that's why it has been said that a physician, a Ved, is one who is using all this. But before using, physician should purify his intellect before treating a patient. The physician who uses both scientific knowledge as well as own intellect, then only he can be ideal physician. Ideal physician is one who is friendly, having a compassion towards the deceased, attached to the remedial, and finally indifference to those who are moving towards the end. This is the fourfold attitude of ideal physician. That means person who is near to death, that physician should be indifferent towards him. Person who can be cured, he should try his best to cure him. So these are the ideal physician, I have put it. Now comes, we are gradually moving towards the technical part. Before that, let's discuss what technology exactly is, how empiricism versus faith, what we can add in it, what we can understand in it. As said, his spirituality or adhyatma is a science of experience, not a science of proof. Okay, we can see that current paradigm or realm of science is based upon how we can understand our physical world. But we should not forget that our senses help us to understand the physical world. Whatever we are seeing through our senses, through our eyes, through listening through our ears, that we try to question, but we are missing that our senses have limits. We are doing whatever we are perceiving through our senses, we are iterating it in a lab and getting the same result every time, and we are terming it, or we are denoting it as a science-backed experience, science-backed experiments, and that has been a very profound realm of science, in which when we say anything that be scientific, then our purpose of saying is that we are having same experiment, we are iterating same things in a lab and getting same result. And finally, we are saying that it is science-based work. But just for example, we can our senses are limited, as I said. We can hear audible sound with a range of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. But beyond that also there is audible range which we can't hear from our senses. But as we talk about electromagnetic spectrum, similarly we can see only visible range of light. But beyond that also there are spectrum, there are frequencies which we can't feel with our senses. Okay. So similarly, there are some experience which is beyond this material world, and there comes the role of Adhyatma, there comes the role of metaphysics of Sanatan wisdom. If you want to go beyond senses, if you perceive through Anubhav, which we everything which we can't put it in words, that can be termed as Anubhav. But whatever we are putting it in words, we are iterating it with process that we are termed as science. But in Bharat, there is not a divorce or disconnection between science and Adhyatma. Bharat's inner science and outer development coexisted in a very mutually symbiotic relationship. There is not a divorce of religion and science, which is there in Western construct. Because when we talk about Western construct, their approach is different. They talk about, they proceed with reductionist, exclusivist, lacks multidisciplinary mindset. When we say technology, we need to understand that we have to move towards understanding, towards a state where we can understand whole material world, but we can't forget our own internal world. लौकिक जगत को हम समझ सकते हैं, मगर अलौकिक तक पहुंचने के लिए हमें अंदर उतरना होगा. We need to dive deep inside. We need to connect with our inner self. We need to purify our chitta, purify our senses, increase our indriya bal. Then the drishti, the Bharati Jivan drishti that we will achieve would help us to attain the wisdom beyond senses. Science definitely helps us to understand this material world, but beyond material, there is the world which we need to explore. That can be possible through dhyan. That can be possible through purify your chit, as I said. Ritambhra Tatra Pragya. This is a sutra from Patanjali Yoga Sutra. What is Ritambhra? Ritambhra is that buddhi which when a sadhak attains, then it purifies sadhak's mind. Then that sadhak only attains satya. Then that sadhak have a discerning ability, vivek buddhi, to distinguish between satya and asatya, to distinguish between dharmic and adharmic, to distinguish between what is pure and what is impure. That is the final aim. We need to understand, we need to develop our senses, we need to develop our chitta to that level so that we can have a discerning ability. That is the final aim. The Purusharthic evolution, if we talk about, that means dharma to moksha. Dharma is when integrated into earth, when integrated into calm, our desires, then finally it leads us to the moksha. When it will be possible, when we will have ability to understand, to understand that everyone is connected, to understand that final goal is to achieve oneness, final goal is to achieve that vivek buddhi, to understand what is satya, what is permanent, what is and to distinguish it from what is impermanent, what is asatya. We are just striving for impermanence. But when we understand the thing which is permanent is only satya, okay, that Brahma Gyan. So race is always for eternal versus ephemeral. Ephemeral is impermanence. So AI versus artificial intelligence, we have heard so much about it, but have you heard about NI or RI? NI, natural intelligence, or Rishi intelligence. This is the natural intelligence. This is the Rishi intelligence that has been propagated from the tapas of our rishis who has done so much tapasya, so much yajna in this Bharat Bhumi, and which is penetrated to us through the wisdom of yoga, through the wisdom of Ayurveda. So we need to understand that we need to tap that Rishi intelligence which is within us. We are so much relying, or our propensity is like that. We are moving towards the world of artificial intelligence, but we are neglecting the Rishi intelligence that is within us. Rishi intelligence is that organic intelligence, that natural intelligence within us. When you purify your chit, when you are able to utilize your internal instrument, when you train your mind properly, when you have a tendency to understand everything with broader dimensions, when I say internal instrument, that means antakaran and bayakaran. Antakaran means manas, chit, buddhi and ahankar. That should be first trained. Our indriya, our gyanendriya and karmendriya should be trained. These are internal instruments. Until and unless we will not train our internal instrument, we will not be able to deal with the external equipments. And external equipments, AI also comes. So this is the concept behind AI. I try to sum up it with Venn diagram. AI, the subset of AI is ML, machine learning. Its subset is deep learning. And finally, generative AI that we are seeing at present time. Okay, so evolution starts with AI. Machine learning helps you to categorize all the data, and from that data, if you want to match it with the result, you can do it with the help of machine learning. Deep learning helps you to analyze your given set of data in a proper manner. Then finally, generative AI, which is helping you to generate text, images, videos, as well as we are seeing current times, whether it is ChatGPT, whether it is Gemini, whether it is Perplexity. So yatra is always from Brahms to Brahm. That means from confusion to clarity. As I talked about Rishi intelligence, so let's take some examples of Rishi intelligence that we had at earlier times. This is Antares, as you can see. This is the brightest star in the sky. Okay, 40,000 times bigger than our sun. And you know what it has been named by our rishis? That is Jest. How? At ancient times, do we had telescopes? Do we had telescopes like James Webb telescope? Do we had telesatellite? No. But we had Rishi intelligence. That's why Jest, as I said, Jest in Sanskrit means big one. Okay, larger one.
Elder one.
Yeah, so elder one. So that means Antares can be termed as Jest. So it reflecting the intelligence of our rishis and how it is possible, that we will talk about. Then in the next picture, you can see the rust-proof iron pillar. I know you all, I think most of you have seen in Delhi, but there is also one pillar in Kolur, Karnataka,
Sorry to disturb you.
which was done by tribals of that region. And this iron pillar receives 750 centimeter of rain in a year, annual rainfall, and despite that, it is rust proof.
Shubhamji,
Yeah.
sorry
How
to
much time I
disturb
had?
you. Yes, you have 5 minutes. Then we will start question answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll move forward. So this is the wisdom that we had earlier. Now we are saying that Rishi intelligence, because that means the intelligence which we can achieve just by following the principles of wisdom, that is yoga. When I say yoga, Ashtanga yoga, when I say Ayurveda, the principles of Ayurveda that we are dealing with. So AR and VR, these are the technologies that has been currently utilizing the wisdom of our ancient times, like Ayurveda. How Ayurveda is utilizing this concept of VR and AR to treat or diagnose the diseases. VR, as we know, virtual reality is an artificial simulated environment that provides an immersive experience, and augmented reality is thing which helps you to enhance our real physical world experience. It augments our real experience, whatever we are having, and virtual reality creates a virtual stimulated environment. Okay, so with the help of this VR, AR, AI, ML, Ayurvedachars nowadays are creating a framework to have a personalized treatment plans. Like we have a Prakriti Parikshan. Prakriti, as we talked about dosh, we can have a Prakriti prediction with the help of AI powered algorithms, like what kind of Prakriti a person has, whether it is dose, whether it is Vat or Pit or Kaph. Then we can have, with the help of this, disease prediction and prevention. Even with the help of AI, diagnosis will be proper, then drug discovery will be proper, recommendation of which kind of herbs can be allocated to that patients. Then finally, telemedicine is also there. India's AI revolution is vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047. So much has been happening in the area of AI. We have a center of excellence. We have a skilling for AI-driven industries. We had India's foundational LLMs we are seeing in the forms of India. This is the effort that has been done by India in the form of Bharat Gen, in the form of Sarvan, one AI model. These are our language models through the AI. So is it possible to bridge tradition and technology? Let's explore the attempts that has been done till now. This is a Nadi Tarangini, a device which has been created. A person who is having a proper knowledge of Ayurveda as well as technology can understand it. Why Nadi Tarangini and how it has been done? It helps you to understand the Nadi, the pulse of the person, and through that Nadi Parikshan, that person's Prakriti can be concluded. So this is a device, and this is another device, Nadi Fit, which helps you, which actually utilizes the generative AI and principles of traditional Chinese medicine as well as Ayurveda. Finally, to understand the Prakriti of a person. So this is the way we are moving towards the technology, how we can utilize it to understand the Prakriti of a person. Through Prakriti, everything can be detected, because Tridosh is the founding principle. Tridosh is a fundamental energy which is driving our body physiologically as well as psychologically. This is another attempt by a private company, Zant, which is a synonym of Shant, silence. They have written it XAANT. They have created this bracelet or hand band which helps you to understand your psychological as well as physiological parameters. It tracks your health, heart health, mental health tracker as well, stress tracker, sleep tracker, elderly remote tracker as well. So this is a medical grade technology which is using again AI driven techniques, and they provide this kind of data, the dashboard that looks like this, which is showing the state of mind, whether it is in alpha state. As I talked, alpha state is a state of rest, whether it is a stressful condition. So this all monitoring is possible through this band. Okay, then this is the gloves. This is again AI driven equipment which helps to understand or to track the skin conductance, muscle tone, HRV, oxygen saturation, and finally diagnose the patient in a very proper understanding with a ample amount of data that whether Ayurveda Charya had. Okay, this is Ayurveda, digital mind body balance assessment. This is again helps to understand the Prakriti of a person. There are many Ayu Yoga app which has occurred, which has surfaced in present time the market, which provides customized healers, customized trainers to you as per the Prakriti, as per the problem, as per the disease the person is facing. So you can say this Ayu Yoga app is a personalized yoga trainer, personalized Ayurveda Charya as per the demand. As we Yogify, this is a smart mat. Why smart? Because it is using IoT sensors, that is Internet of Things sensors, AI enabled sensors in your mat, which corrects your posture. The way you perform any asana, the way you do any postures, it corrects you, align you in a proper direction. Because we are seeing so much NCDs, non-communicable diseases, lifestyle diseases are occurring. That's why this kind of innovations are being done by technologists. This is a therapy kit which is being issued, and we can see the application of AR, augmented reality. Nowadays, so much has been done with the help of AI or AR also. That means AR can help us to understand the Ayurvedic plant identification. If someone is beginner in this Ayurvedic space, then that person can use the app with the help, which is the principle behind that app is AR. And through that AR, you can scan any plant disease, any plants, any herbs, and identify its properties, its details, what kind of disease it can cure, what is the active ingredient that plant or the herbs has. So see how this kind of technologies are helping us, augmenting us, our efforts, our approach. This is a simple app, sun salutation app, which anyone can use to count their sun salutation, to correct their sun salutation. Surya Namaskar. Yoga for the kids. There are so many apps in the market which helping kids to learn, to understand yoga in a very fun way, in a very playful way, and finally achieve the mental, physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual well-being. This again is a holomat and chakra shoot. This there in this they are using again AI-based sensors, but apart from that, they are using also AR and VR technologies. A practitioner has to wear that chakra suit as well as sit on the mat to perform yoga with the trainer just doing beside you. Like this. Red one is the person who is doing this yoga, and your trainer with the help of AR, it looks like you are performing with your trainer. So there will be not any probability of doing mistakes. And with the help of VR, virtual reality, there is a possibility of achieving a simulated environment to do a guided meditation. Definitely, this technology has shortcomings, but approach is the main focus is the purpose is to initiate the beginners, initiate the practitioner towards yoga, towards the principles of yoga, towards the practices of yoga, so that they can understand it, they can finally get the proper experts. But to initiate it, this technology can augment, can help a person. As I said, Vriksha Ayurveda is Ayurveda behind trees. As I said, this three fundamental energy, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, is the main fundamental foundational principle behind anything. Whether it is trees, whether it is animals, or whether it is humans. So Vriksha Ayurveda talks about Ayurveda behind Vriksh, how we can increase the Ayush, life of Vriksh. So we have delved into Vriksh as well through the lens of Ayurveda. This is a modern plus Indian traditional knowledge fusion that we can see with the help of this has been done by CSIR, NSL, NCL Pune. They have developed a technology which is known as Swastik, Safe Water and Sustainable Technology Initiative from Indian Knowledge Base. What they did, they can purify any kind of water in 5 to 10 minutes and eliminate bacteria, mainly specifically gram-negative E. coli and gram-positive S. aureus bacteria. So it is like purification of water. What they are using simply natural oils like tea tree oil, lemongrass oil, clove oil, cinnamon oil, and eucalyptus oil. These essential oils are helping them to treat the water just in a 5 to 10 minutes. This is a correct reflection how we can fuse these two things. And this last one, we are at the end. Commercialization of faith, is it happening? Definitely, we are seeing so much Shraddhalus, pilgrimage, crowd are increasing in pilgrimage sites. Why? Because India, in coming times, India's leading role will be the spiritual tourism will definitely increase. 60% of domestic travel has been only focused on spiritualism. That means the tourists that we are seeing, the 60% are dedicated to tourist, to spiritual activities. They are either visiting Devi Kshetra or their Devisthanam, Mandirs. And it has been estimated that by 2032, it will increase up to $2.2 billion. That CAGR of 6.25%, it definitely has economic impact. So talking why? Because there are so much effort have been are being done in this domain as well. This is one innovation with the name of Durlabh Darshan. They have tried to provide a same experience with the help of VR and AR. Definitely, it will be similar experience, not same, because a person who is visiting to mandir can have similar experience with the help of VR, but person who is doing parikrama sitting near Garbhagriha definitely have different energy, different anubhav, different experience. But this is beneficial. This can be a boon for person who is disabled, who is not able to walk, a person who are aged. Suppose someone has father or mother or grandmother who can't able to go to Kedarnath, who are not able to go to Ayodhya. So they can have this type of experience with the help of technology. So this has been done. This has been done by Durlabh Darshan. You can visit for more. It provides 360-degree virtual darshan. You can experience sanctum in its purest form, that means Garbhagriha, and enjoy an immersive, serene, uninterrupted view of your deity, free from the rush, noise, and distraction. This is an attempt. This is in a very beginning stage. Let's see how it will convert. This is again Sri Mandir. They are also providing Aarti darshan with the help of same technologies. And you can see the National Institute of Ayurveda has utilized the AI and VR to understand the physiology and psychology of the human body, especially physiology, respiratory, skeletal, muscular. So that means technology are being used in its educational curriculum also to understand the principles of Ayurveda. Definitely, this has been done under the Ministry of Ayush, a Government of India body. So finally, we are at the end. This is the life mantra that we all should follow. I would like to read it in Hindi as it has been conveyed properly, I think. सुखी व्यक्तियों के प्रति मित्रता रखनी चाहिए हमें, दुखी व्यक्तियों के प्रति करुणा अर्थात कृपा का भाव रखना चाहिए. जो पुण्य आत्माएं हैं, महात्मा है, संत हैं, जो अच्छे कार्य करते हैं, सज्जन व्यक्ति हैं, उनके प्रति हमें प्रसन्नता या खुशी का भाव हमेशा रखना चाहिए. और जो पापी या दुष्ट व्यक्तियों के प्रति उपेक्षा, दैट मीन्स जो पापी हैं, दुष्ट हैं, adulterated mind, corrupt mind, we should have उपेक्षा अर्थात उदासीनता की भावना अर्थात अथवा व्यवहार रखने से what will be the result? We will have a blissful chitt and focused mind. So crux is to get rid of klesh and shadripu, that is avidya, asmita, rag, dvesh, abhinivesh. Abhinivesh means fear of death. If you want to get rid of this shadripu and klesh, panch klesh, then we have to follow these principles of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that is Chitta Prasadam, which I have read above, which is a Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So as per Puran, way to remove impurity of the body is through tapascharya, way to remove impurity of the mind through the dhyan, and impurity of the speech can be removed through the jap. So always remind yourself which is more important, as asked Big Panda. Is it to know your friends or the family? Then Tiny Dragon replied, know yourself, know thyself. That should be your main goal. As we are talking about fusion, so we can see there are so many scientists in modern as well as ancient times which has been benefited from the wisdom of Bharat Bhumi, whether it is Nikola Tesla, whether it is Heisenberg, whether it is Schrodinger, they all get somewhere wisdom from the Vedanta, Upanishads, from our Purans. So it has been very well said by Heisenberg. It is probably true quite generally that in the history of human thinking, the most fruitful developments frequently take place at those points where two different lines of thought meet. So thank you for your patience. Man who is a master of patience is master of everything else. Thank you. Here you can meet me. You can discuss more on it. Because of the lack of time, I tried to just make it so fast at the last. I hope we have conveyed properly. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. If anyone has any query, then you are most welcome.
Didi, do we have any questions from chat box or any Andre?
Hello, sorry, I was just facing some.
Nidhi, are you there?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Shubham. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was facing some glitch with respect to my audio and video, so I had to switch the window. Excellent session, Shubham ji. First of all, thank you so much for such an interesting, insightful, informative, and enlightening session, taking us right from the historical, civilizational, and cultural roots to the present times with respect to integration of modern technology. We will quickly move on to questions. Dr. Vikas,
Yeah.
I lost my chat box. I can't see the older questions because I switched to another window. Can you read Prachi ji's question? She had posted one question. Even I had posted one question, but we can take mine if there are none. I think it was about migraine.
Yes. I am reading Prati's comment. Very useful session for everyone. I wish to ask you, sir, which asana is good to reduce migraine? Periodically, I experience it and I am very easily get affected by others' negative comments, anger, scolding, etc.
Uh, as far as I can understand, the question is that about how we can get relief from migraine. Am I right?
Yes, Shubham. That's
Can I read the
Yes.
question? Okay, chalo, I am taking this as a question. Okay, I got the question. Which asana is good to reduce migraine? Periodically, I experience it and I am very easily get affected by others' negative comments, anger, scolding. Okay, very nice. Prachi ji, I would suggest that before asan, you can have a pranayam, which can be beneficial for you. If you do Bhramari pranayam that we have performed, and there are other pranayam as well, but before the guidance of expert, I would not prefer you to do it just by looking at the videos that are available in YouTube. So, but what we have done is today that Bhramari pranayam, you can do it for your issue. That will definitely help you. And apart from that, you can do deep breathing. There are three kinds of breathing technique that is given in yoga. First one is clavicular breathing. Second one is um, thoracic breathing. That means from your chest. Clavicular means from your shoulder. Means your collarbones are getting impacted, and then your chest part, which is categorized under thoracic breathing. Then finally is abdominal breathing, which is the most deepest kind of breathing. So you can perform deep breathing techniques. How we can do a deep breathing? Wherever you are sitting, and even after eating also, you can have this practice in your daily rituals. Just do 10 to 15 times deep breathing before doing any work. Whenever you are feeling, as you have written that by any negative comment or anger, you got angered or you got anxious. So whenever you feel that any thought is overpowering you, as I said, achar, vichar, ahar, vihar, so where vichar is your thought, you can just disconnect yourself. See, it is a wave. That wave of thought is coming to you. Suppose someone is attacking to you, how you can save yourself? Just by attacking it with your another weapon. So whenever negative thought is getting thrown towards you, so that is a one attack. You can just attack it with your own weapon. That means with your positive thoughts, with your positive attitudes. If you will just cut it down, neutralize the negative thoughts, that means you can attain the calmness. So first and foremost thing is that you have to work on your thoughts, and this Bhramari pranayam, this deep breathing will help you to connect with your thoughts in a more subtle way. You will be able to observe your thoughts, the subtle emotion behind any thoughts. This is more important. There is always subtle emotion behind every thought. How much we are stretching any thought depends upon our emotion behind that thought. Sometimes we unintentionally stretch it. That is termed as overthinking, which is converted into stress, then finally into depression. These are just terminology. And for only those who don't know the principles of Ayurveda, who don't know the principles of yoga. So if you're facing such kind of things, suppose there is anger an emotion of anger, which is an attack from the outside, as I said. So what weapon you have, what Brahmastra you have to neutralize it. You can think about pleasant experience, whatever you have experienced anywhere with anyone. Just reactivate that feeling, that positive feelings. Through this practice, you can just neutralize that negative thoughts. Okay, this is abhyas, this demands abhyas, this needs abhyas. It will not happen in a day. You start practicing it. You just counter your negative thoughts with the positive thoughts. You practice Bhramari pranayam, you practice deep breathing. This will definitely help you. And there are definitely more asanas, more pranayams, which I can teach you. If you can connect me, as I have shared my mail ID, and or you can have mail ID from Vikasji or Nidhiji. So we can talk more about it. But this small practices you can follow. Okay, I hope I'm clear. You have got the answer.
Yes. Prachi ji has responded that your answer was very, very helpful. And Shubham ji, I would request you if you could share your email ID in the chat box so that all our participants can make note of it. So participants, you can make note of Shubham ji's email ID. There was also a request for your PowerPoint presentation, if and only if you're willing to share it. Otherwise, it's completely fine. Any other question? We have time for one more question. So in the interest of time, we can have...
I have shared it. I've shared my ID. If anyone has any issue, then they can contact me.
Correct. I think it will be better if there are any specific questions that you would like to ask Shubhamji with respect to what you should be practicing. I think he will be able to answer that on a one-on-one basis. So please connect with him on his email ID. And in fact, I really appreciate Shubhamji that towards the end of your presentation, we learned about so many examples with respect to the integration of ancient wisdom and modern technology, because of our colonial mindset, we are trained to think that ancient wisdom is on one end of the spectrum and modern technology is on the other end of the spectrum. But that's not true. And with the kind of entrepreneurial Atmanirbhar spirit that Bharat and Bharatiyas have, this interface that our ancient wisdom can have with modern technology was amply and evidently visible through the examples that you shared. And the examples that you shared, these are all examples of IKS in action. Like, so many people who have training in this ancient wisdom and also have training in modern technology are now trying to bridge that gap. There is no gap at all, but at least they are trying to bring these two together. And so with the different applications and initiatives that you demonstrated with respect to augmented reality, virtual reality, personally, I was not even aware that such initiatives existed. So
actually,
for me, that's the takeaway from your session.
Definitely. I just touched the surface level only because of the crunch of time. I understand. That's why I tried to give just a glimpse or just overview what all has been done or what all are just in the pipeline. People are doing. We need a people who have definitely scientific background and definitely technical understanding, but apart from this, should have a proud, unapologetic Sanatanis who understand the wisdom of Sanatan, who understand the gravity and depth of Sanatan wisdom that we possess, because then only we can just unlayer it, and we can just bring out, extract the best, which can help us to solve the contemporary problems. This is the real goal of IKS. Because until and unless we will not be able to utilize our ancient wisdom for solving contemporary issues, contemporary problems, then that wisdom, that knowledge is useless.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that should be our main goal.
Yes, very well said. Yeah, please, Dr. Vikas.
We have also a question from Dr. Nidhi only. How is detachment from karma possible?
Did you ask anything, Vikalji?
Yeah, I think Dr. Vikas, we will take Sunita ji's question, not mine. Let's take Sunita ji's question. She's just posted.
How do contemporary environmental changes such as global warming, irregular season affects the ancient Ayurveda seasonal guidance? Nice question. Definitely, Ayurvedic principles are defined according to the Ritucharya or Dincharya. Actually, if there is a sudden changes in problems, sudden changes in circumstances, then we have to opt situations according to that situation, according to that seasons, according to that circumstances. Suppose you should not, suppose at some season pitta is elevated so much, suppose at some other season cough is elevated so much, whether it is coming randomly. I understand the reason behind this question. Sometimes we see long winters, sometimes we see long rainy seasons. But if it is rainy season, then we have to opt certain principles of Ayurveda that will be definitely workable and doable, whether it is stressed or reduced. That period of season is stressed or reduced, but we can follow that principle of Ayurveda. So this is, I suppose this is the best question as per the contemporary issues. We are facing so many challenges, but what is a device to face that challenges, to ace that challenge? That device is, that methodology is Ayurveda. That methodology is yoga. Other than that, if we think that we can suppress this issues just by technology, then it is not possible. Actually, in Sanatan Gyan Parampara, we don't have a concept of suppressing or controlling. We have a concept of sanyam. We need to sanyam. We need to have a sanyam in our own understanding. That's why Ayurveda not only talks about body, it talks about mind, it talks about senses, it talks about your soul. When you will have a proper understanding of your own inner self, then this kind of problem first will not arise. Are you agree with me? This kind of problem will definitely arise, will definitely not arise.
Right.
Like environmental changes. Why this is happening? Because we will have a tendency of just exploiting nature. We have a tendency of controlling nature. We have a tendency of going beyond our greed. We forget the principle that we should create more than we consume. This is what Sanatan teaches us. We should understand it, and that understanding comes from our principles of Ayurveda. That understanding comes from this age-old, ancient, immortal wisdom of Sanatan. If we understand it, then definitely these problems will not arise. And if it is arising because of others, definitely we all are interconnected. Someone is not doing, we are doing. Someone is having industries, they are emitting lots of pollutants in the air and in the river. Then in that case, if seasonal changes are there, then we have to work or act according to the principles of Ayurveda to keep ourselves, to keep our society. See, we always have a thought of Vyasti, then Samasti, then Srishti. That means we should think about self, our surroundings, and then whole universe. If we inject these principles of understanding into the minds of youth, into the minds of every section of society, then such problems will never arise. And if it is arising, then we have to follow the principles of Ayurveda to curb it in a proper, in a very holistic manner.
Right. Absolutely. Very, very well said, Shubham ji, and very good question by Sunita ji. I think if I just had to sum it up in one sentence, I think the reason for disbalance and all these problems is that we have abandoned dharma. We have abandoned dharmic acharan. We have forgotten what is the right thing to do. We have forgotten what our duties are. We have strayed away from the dharmic fold. And I strongly believe that any community, any group of people, any nation who abandon their civilizational heritage, they invite doom, they invite misery, they invite dukkha by doing that. So, and this is probably true for all ancient indigenous civilization. जब कोई समाज अपने पुरातन wisdom को भूल जाता है, उसको actively abandon करते हैं, उसकी value नहीं समझते, उसको inferior समझते हैं, mock करते हैं, तब ये disbalance हमें दिखता है. So thank you, Shubham ji, for that response. And I think we will now be closing the session in the interest of time, of course. This is such an interesting topic that we could just go on and on. And of course, we do hope to invite Shubham ji again on our platform. So from here, I hand it to Dr. Vikas for the vote of thanks. But I was truly enamored by the wealth of knowledge that you possess, Shubham ji, with respect to this specific field. And we wish you the best for your scholarly endeavors ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you, Vikas.
I believe that you have rightly summed it up, Nidhi, that Shubham ji has vast knowledge and his insights were great. The way he was merging the ancient knowledge with the time that we are living in, it was fabulous. We enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Shubham ji, for coming with us on this platform. And we are looking forward to more sessions with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you to the listeners as well.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Thank you so much.
We
You
have
can read the comments in the chat box, Shubham ji. There are many appreciative comments in the chat box.